How to teach teenagers about money, explained by Rick Fiery.
Money. All right. So I get this is an interesting one. So I think the younger generation and even older generations, money's a challenge to kind of understand conceptually sometimes. How much is enough money? And you got to start by discussing the lifestyles that somebody might want. So with your son or daughter or with yourself, do I want to be in a mansion or do I want to be in a tent? Some people can only be happy in a mansion. Some can only be happy in a tent. But you got to understand, what are you aiming for? Again, it's kind of the business view of this. All right, what's my goal? Well, I need to make money. How much money do I need to make? What kind of lifestyle do I want? The eye-opening thing is then have them create a living budget. List out all the expenses. A car. How much does it cost to have a car? And don't forget the maintenance. Everyone always forgets about that. How much does gas cost? How much does insurance cost? How much does an apartment or a house or a tent or a mansion cost? How much does food really cost? What about medical? When you turn 26, be on the parent's medical plan anymore. So add all those costs up and then ask them the question, and this is usually entertaining. Well, what job are you going to work? Well, I'm going to go do this job and it's going to be cool. How much are you going to make? $15 an hour. Take the total expenses, right, divided by the hourly rate, and that gives you how many hours you need to work per month to make that happen. And when they see 300 hours a week becomes the answer, that could be eye-opening. So it's a great exercise just to get people to understand the cost of money. And then the funny thing, one conversation I had with one of my kids is, and then guess what? Then they take taxes out of that. And they were like, they can't do that. Well, yeah. They do. So you have to work even more hours? Yes, you have to work more hours. So it's interesting, the dynamics that happen when you have that conversation. I would say consider making The Millionaire Next Door mandatory reading for your kids, or read it yourself and maybe explain it to them. It's about consumption versus non-consumption, saving versus spending. And many people now are very into non-consumerism. That's kind of a thing. And this book is about that. Even though it's several years old, it still has that same point to it. So I think that's a great book for people to understand. And what you see as these great success stories isn't always what's the reality. So money is an important thing to talk about.